Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, where we got apparently loads to talk about. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are well, and welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, where we're going to be covering off all kinds of player talks, the performances, what to expect, and are Forest ready or not for the Premier League campaign coming up. Hope you guys are well. As always, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new, and there's still some tickets for that exclusive full sign squad shirt that you can get from Football Prizes. Either scan that QR code that's underneath Murillo there, or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. And if you win the new season kit, let me know. I think it's tickets, I can't remember what it is now. 25. If you hit ticket number 25, let us know. Chat, hope you're well. Boys on the panel, how you guys doing? All good, I hope?
Yeah, all good.
All good, all good. And we got quite a few topics to talk about, and I just don't really know where to kick us off with. Should we... what topic do you lot want to start with? Chat, what do you lot want to start with?
Yeah, let's have some chat, but I would say probably start with a pre-season friendly.
You're going to start with that one?
Yeah.
All right, you were there, Ez. What was your
there.
reading of it from the old seating accommodation there in the Trent End?
Yeah, well, great seats. Thank you, Mark, for sorting that out. But atmosphere was what it was. We were trying to figure out when's the last time we had a home game for pre-season, and it must be at least 3 seasons since we last played a home pre-season game. So it was good to see the amount of, I think it was about 20,000 plus in there. It was really spread out. Every corner of the ground was open. I don't know if people were able to be in safe standing areas for the
they were. Martin was. I think Martin's in there as well.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity. We saw the new screen in the Trent End where we were sat right next to that.
Can I ask you on that screen, Ez? Who can see it? Because
only
the angle of it looks weird.
Yeah, if you're in Trent End lower, you're not seeing it. So we were.
You can't see it from Toffee. I'm guessing only Peter Taylor's stand and upper
Peter
Trent.
Taylor's stand is a great view, and Trent End upper, really, from what I could gather. So yeah, you definitely obviously not seeing it from Brian Clough's stand at all. And they haven't updated the one in Bridgeford End, as far as I'm aware.
No, they got that. They got that wide, thinner one, haven't they, in the Bridgeford one now?
Yeah, I didn't notice that really. It didn't seem different, to be honest. Maybe I just didn't pay enough attention to it. But it doesn't help anyone who's sat lower Trent or who's in Brian Clough. They're not going to see it at all. But it's a nice screen. Don't get me wrong. But I just, obviously it's to help get the shipping containers in, and the shipping containers, we'll talk about that at some point in the show, I'm sure, but that's why they've been moved. But it looked all good. This actual pitch looked stunning, as always. I think last season, I can't remember a game last season where I could say that the pitch didn't look immaculate. So the groundsman in the Premier League, I've got to say, probably the best we've had so far.
Did it look narrower, as?
I was literally going to ask you that. Yeah,
that was the next bit I was going to go. So you noticed it when the players were warming up. You did notice it was considerably narrower because often.
Have they moved the dugouts forward, or is there a bigger gap now?
No, the dugouts are where they are, but the strip of grass is obviously a lot wider that end. So because you'd always notice it when the players were warming up down the Trent End, they'd always be running onto the actual playing surface because there's just not enough. There was not enough track there for them to warm up on. But that's definitely been addressed. So you do notice the extra strip of grass down the sides of the pitch. But in general, I thought from a player's point of view, it was really solid performance. It was a kind of what you'd expect from pre-season. Obviously, we're not going to put 100% in, but there were some good moves. There were some really positive performances, which we'll get into in terms of the individuals. But overall, I thought it was a good run out for the players. We got Minuto NLPNL for the players that we're going to start. But going to start on a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, I think that this is the first time in a couple of seasons where we've seen a real linked up pre-season.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, Ant will tell you, fucking playing all your kids, you know, in a game for what? Playing all the players that you want to get rid of in a game for what? You know, it was so disjointed. This preseason seems really on point. Nuno knows exactly what he wants to do in terms of getting those minutes in, and he's doing it right. So so far, I've got to say, not just results wise, but the way it's preseason's gone, I've been really impressed. And it seems a bit more back to professionalism, which we've seen for a while. I don't know what you guys are laughing at, so I'm going to let you carry on.
Well, Nathan's having a go at you in the comments, and you can't miss the Bridgeford one, unless, of course, you're Ez. Derek said he couldn't see the player names either. They were too small. I saw they did them in like one single column, and they had like bare space on the other sides of the screen. It was weird. Just before I come to the other boys, quick shout out to the man Dylan with the 19 months. Evening, mate. Hope everyone is well. We are. Shout out to Dylan with 19 months. And to Moody, coming up to the year's anniversary, Moody, with the 11 months. Thank you so much. Let's talk in general about some of these performances, because I do, Crypto, tend to agree with Ez that in general, the preseason feels more professional to me. It feels like there's a laid out plan. You know, as Ez says, we haven't seen like a full squad of the kids coming out, which nothing against that, but we're in the third season in the Premier League now. We got to start kind of hitting the ground running when we hit Bournemouth. But on the individuals, was there anyone who stood out for you? And maybe just not in this game, but just overall as well. Overall, really.
I mean, the one to call out for me, and the one that 90% of the fan base gave up on last season, was Sangare. Look, Sangare was always going to come good. He's an absolutely fantastic player. Sometimes people will struggle to come into a team and settle straight away. He had injuries. He went off to AFCON. There was lots of things that interrupted his season last season, and everyone said, sell him, get rid of him, he's crap. He's not. He's one of our best players, and I think this season he will prove that. And for me, it's really positive to see that he stepped up during this preseason, because he looks like he wants to be there. And I know the criticism last season was he doesn't look like he wants to be on the pitch. Well, he's definitely changed that around. So for me, Sangare is having a great preseason. I think, someone's just said it in the chat. Chris Anderson looks really sharp, and for the amount he cost, he should do, to be fair. But there's also the players there who look good from last season. If we excuse Murillo giving away some penalties, he still looks brilliant. I thought Morgan Gibbs-White, some of his passing yesterday was sublime. That pass he made through to Tyro at the end, and the one to Domingo was brilliant. So, like you guys have said, I think it's all positive. There's obviously been pre-seasons before where we're basically crap, and everyone says, oh, it's only pre-season, but then we have a crap season as well. This looks different to me. This looks like Nuno is getting people ready to play and have a proper go at a mid-table finish. And I think it can only be positive. We'll probably talk about it, but the one thing I would like to see is an additional striker, because
we're definitely
for me, it was brilliant to see Tyro back. But for me, I think we need a signature signing and a striker. I think we've got a fantastic team, but if you don't have somebody scoring goals, you're never going to have a good season.
Yeah. Just before we come to Antonio, a quick shout out to Deze with the 15 months. Thank you so much. Chat in the chat as well. Let us know who's most impressed you in pre-season, either most improved or someone who's just standing out to you a bit. And I've just got to ask you about what George is saying here. He's saying Domingo isn't praised enough. Now, we know you got a little angry towards the end of last season when he wasn't in the team. We then found out he was injured. How do you think? There's a little echo. I'm hearing an echo.
I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah.
Testing.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Echoes.
It's you, Crypto. You got too much gain on, maybe.
How's that? Is it
testing? No, it's still there.
Still there.
I'll leave and come back in. Yeah.
So on Dominguez, Ant, where are you with him? Because I'm not sure he's being chosen as the starter at the moment, because it looks like Danilo and Sangare are probably ahead.
Yeah, I don't think he is, but I echo what the comment said. I don't think he does get enough praise. I love him. I love the guy. I think he, but having said that, it ain't easy getting that midfield now. We've got a good set of midfield players. So if he played, for example, Sangare and Danilo, I can't complain. I can't say no,
Yeah.
Dominguez should be in there.
Yeah.
I can't. But if he plays Sangare and Dominguez, it's great. So, you know, it's fantastic that we're in that position where we have got real backup in that midfield now. And not just backup, but we've got different types of midfielders as well. So midfielders as well. So we can play different types of game, which is always an advantage. In general, I would say that there were a lot of positives. That I agree with what everybody else says. It looks a lot more professional. I mean, as you well know, I went to that counter game, and that did it for Cooper especially. I thought you're playing all these kids who aren't going to play.
Still there, Ben. Sorry,
That's worse. It's worse than it's ever been.
Worse.
Crypto.
Have you got echo cancellation on in a sense?
Anyway, I'll carry on.
Carry on.
It's gone now. So
got it.
It's you know, it's so much more, as people have said. It seems to be more professional, more organised this year. There have been several pluses for me. Sangare obviously is one. Thank goodness we're seeing what he's capable of doing. And I believe that he will have a fantastic season. He'll be absolutely vital for us. I like Aina. He's been great. Few mistakes, but he's great.
It was a little sloppy, I thought.
Yeah, he was.
But
it is a friendly. I know, you know, you can either count it or discount it, but it's a fact. It is a friendly. No player is going to put in is full in pre-season. It just doesn't happen. But Danilo's looked fantastic for me, which is I love it because I'm a massive Danilo fan. I love the new centre back, Milenkovic. I think he looks absolutely solid.
Yeah, he's settled in, hasn't he?
He's settled in, and I'm not surprised because he's a quality player. You know, I get a lot of this needs time to settle in, and I always think, do you really? Sometimes maybe I understand.
Sangare would be the
but I don't think that was a settling in thing. I think there were so many outside influences on that, i.e., injury, not being able to speak the language. Yeah, which I know you can say is partly settling, but not being able to speak the language, maybe not feeling as well as he should physically. I don't think he was at it. I mean, he looks slimmer this year. You know,
leaner,
more toned. More toned. He looks more toned this year. He certainly looks more enthusiastic, and I've seen him smile, which I don't think we saw last season.
Yeah,
you know,
Crypto kind of touched on it.
I think one thing worth mentioning as well is the height of the players that have been brought in with Carla and Milenkovic is there, hopefully, to stop all the set piece goals.
I don't think he'll be number one though. I think Sells is number one.
The thing is that. Go on, carry on. I'll interrupt you.
I don't interrupt in, or do you want to carry on? I think Sells will be number one. That's my feeling at the moment. I mean, Carlos only came on for a bit the other night. We've not seen that much of him, have we, really? He does look big. He does look big. I know it's an obvious thing to say, but he looks... You know, when you see him I saw a picture of him standing next to MGW. MGW is like a little kid next to him. Like but nevertheless, whatever. I'm confident about our defence. I think we've put in some really good passing moves. We look like we can counter-attack so quickly with Hudson-Odoi and Elanga. I know you're not a big Elanga fan, Wolverine, but he's got something, right?
I don't think he's got anything, mate. I'm sorry.
He has. I'll tell you what he's got. He's got fear factor. Players are frightened of him. Defenders don't. I think
he's frightened of himself then because he's not taking his man on.
Yeah, he did put a couple of good crosses in the other night.
I thought he was all right.
He had some moments.
I thought he was all right the other night, and at least he's one of these players that generally. Although you seem to be alluding to the fact that you think he's not this way, but generally he's an attacking player, i.e. he does try to go forward with the ball, okay? Whether you lose it or not is a different matter. Whether you pass it or at least is threatening. Yeah. My worry, and you know, I've heard a lot of people waxing lyrical about us, we've got to score goals. Yeah. No matter how good your approach play is, no matter how good your defence is, you've got to score goals, and we're not scoring goals.
Yeah, but if you take Elanga off that pitch last night, you get rid of the.
Why did you keep saying last night? It wasn't last night, was it?
Sorry, not last night. Sorry,
He's
Friday
confusing me.
Friday night. It's
Whenever.
because I haven't. It's because I haven't spoken about Forest in like 48 hours because of what's been going on. So if you take Elanga off the pitch, that cross doesn't go into Wood. I mean, that cross was brilliant to give Elanga some praise.
I just mentioned that he had a couple of good crosses. I've not got a problem with Elanga myself. It's him that's got the problem, not me. Okay.
The
I'm not saying
little
he's
twist
the
at
world.
the end of the game, where he managed to keep the ball in and win a corner, and where he cut across the pitch. I thought he played quite well, Elanga.
He had some good. I tell you what I don't like about Elanga is when Nuno resorts to playing him as a false nine, and he did it again for a spell Friday night as well. And there's got to be a better option in there, and I'm hoping from even the one that Latrodino just mentioned, Jota, you know, him and that.
Why is everybody interrupting me? I didn't interrupt anybody, and everybody's interrupting me. Why is that? Is this a conspiracy?
I know, but you've been interrupting us for like 2 years, so we thought we'd start.
Exactly, we're getting it all back to you now.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Because I was about to say, I don't think Elanga's a problem in that side. I think if he plays, he's a danger, he's a threat. But also, we've got Jota, what's his name? Jota Silva. And he does look a very promising, exciting player. And from what I've heard about him, I mean, I was a bit concerned because I think he's 24, isn't he? And I thought, well, why have you taken so long? But, you know, I mean, Jamie Vardy didn't come a good player till he's 28. So it can happen that players flower later in their careers. And the reports from Benfica that I've seen on him, they are really rating him. I mean, they do actually say it's a kind of, you know, easy comparison to make because he has got that Grealish look about him. But I've been told that is the way he plays, like Grealish.
He's not. No, he doesn't play like Grealish, man. He doesn't.
All right.
For me, he's more of. For me, he reminds me more of Jota, the Liverpool Jota.
The Liverpool Jota, yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
well, I hope so.
He's sheer quality, man. He's sheer quality.
He's not really good.
I've heard that he could be the next big thing. Now we've heard this all before, but you know it's nice.
The next guy to get cut from the England team.
Isn't it? You know what I mean? It's better than everybody saying, "Oh, he's, don't know what they bought him for. He's rubbish." So that's why I'm saying the part that's worrying me is, as Crypto alluded to, a striker. Because you know when Tyro came on, I heard the great big cheer, but for me it's like, oh, he's on, is he? How long's he on for?
He's lost his magic touch, hasn't he? He had that purple patch, and since then he's never really recovered.
He looks out of touch. I mean, I could forgive him that because he's not played proper football for a long time. I could forgive him not having that sharpness, but I just don't believe he's going to be fit. I really don't. So I can't get excited about him being there. Get rid. I've said it before, a long time ago.
Look, the way you boys are talking right now, Forest are winning the league. Like,
no.
I mean, how we remember at the barbecue. For those of you at the barbecue last year, it was all depression. We had a really crappy pre-season. This is literal night and day to where we were last year.
But I have been worrying. I have been worrying about this lack of goals. That's you know, I keep thinking, we're right in defence. We've got some great defenders. I think we've got some great midfielders. Even the wingers, you know, with
you've just been slandering
Elanga or Jota. I could call him Jota, like it's his, you know, certainly.
No, he does go by Jota, and he does.
Yeah. So that for me, I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. We've not got a top.
You're right to say that
we can rely on.
I'll tell you what, I've been doing the rounds on the other Premier League teams, watching a few of their preseason matches. Okay. The ones that have impressed me, Crystal Palace, they are tonking everyone. I think they beat West Ham last night 3-1.
3-1.
And that's without Elise. Yeah, so they're a two-man team with him and Eze. That's out the window, man. Glasner's got them firing. Wolves beat Leipzig yesterday 3-0, scoring goals. You had who else is playing? I watched Leicester, by the way. It was like watching Forest promoted just in a blue kit, man. It was terrible against that Bundesliga team. I think they'd finished like 11th or 12th last year. But in general, this season for me looks like there's going to be some clear relegation fodder. I think Man City still look a cut above. I watched their game against Chelsea last night. I think there's going to be a crowding from about 6th down to 13th. There's going to be a massive crowding where anyone can still get European football, or anyone could get dragged into like a relegation battle or a crap season.
Mm.
And what you're saying is spot on, Ant, about the lack of strikers. I felt for all our huff, and I don't know if you saw this at the ground, Ez, we were good in the first 2/3, but when it came into that final third, where Villarreal were maybe sitting back a bit on us, we just couldn't break that low defensive line down for me.
No, I'd agree with you on that, and I think we were lacking ideas as well from that point of view, because obviously we Chris Wood had to step in for a lot last season, but there were times where we created some amazing chances last season. We just did have no one finishing them off. So that, without a doubt, has to be a key place to address. But I'm just worried that it's taken. We're not really hearing any solid links to any players at the moment. And if we're not hearing it, guys, then that means you're not hearing. That means at the moment there's nothing going on, and that's a bit of a worry for me. Maybe they're keeping their cards very close to their chest, but if they are, they're doing a good job of it, because we're not getting a sniff of any players that we've got some serious links with. But it's a position that we need to address, unless Nuno's convinced that you can get some minutes out of Taiwo and have Chris Wood as a replacement or as a backup. But I can't go into a season expecting. I'm hoping, obviously, we stay away from relegation this season, but to expect that going into a season with the strikers that we've got, it's going to make it hard for me. So my expectations or my predictions would be considerably increased with a top quality striker in there. Without it, I'm still thinking bottom half of the table, and fighting relegation maybe half a season. We'll probably pull ourselves clear, but at the moment, without a top striker coming in, I think I worry that we're going to not be able to make that next step, which I think the rest of the squad would help us do. So there's one key position obviously missing.
I think we will get a striker, but it might not be somebody that we've heard of. It could be somebody from South America or whatever. That doesn't mean that they're not brilliant, but obviously it's a gamble. I can't see us splashing the cash on 40, 50, 60 million. I'd love us to do it, but I can't see it. And let's face it,
I get what you're saying there, but I've been thinking about this over the last few days. If we were going to do that, we should have done it early in the window, because they're going to get no time to come in.
Is it? It's not always that easy.
Yeah, but I'm saying the later we get, the more established we need, in my opinion.
Not necessarily,
but we will almost certainly sign somebody on the last day, whether that's a striker or another goalkeeper. Who knows? I think that. Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice. But
I'll take him.
I never thought Ramsdale would come to Forest, but the more I read about his lack of opportunity elsewhere, the more I think, well, maybe he would.
I'd rather Kelleher. I think Kelleher's better.
Yeah. I do agree. Yeah. But I wouldn't turn down Ramsdale.
I've not seen enough of Kelleher. I've only seen him in bits. But he looks a fantastic goalkeeper. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
He's got a lot.
But his distribution is better than Ramsdale for me, and he's a good saver.
Yeah. But Ramsdale is a top class quality goalkeeper. Ramsdale.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's crap. I'm just saying if I had to pick,
straight in, wouldn't he? Ramsdale would come straight in. If we did sign him, he would be number. You wouldn't argue with that, would you? He wouldn't come for any other reason, obviously.
Just touching back on the striker, even if we brought another one in, you can't then sell Taiwo, because you can't just have two strikers, because that's what happened last season. One gets injured and you're relying on one man for the whole of the season.
Most clubs have only got two strikers, Crypto. Most clubs have only got
but look what
strikers,
happened to us last season. Even I'm talking even a backup, even a third backup.
Yeah, but hold on a sec. We had two strikers. One is well-known fucking injury croc, and the other one is a 33-year-old.
Yeah, but that's what I'm pointing at. I'm saying we need
don't buy a croc and don't buy an old man. We
need that third striker. The problem we've got is that the identity of our striker is not known, because Chris Wood is the complete polar opposite to Awani. Chris Wood is like a Harry Kane. He's slow up front. He needs the ball into the box. He is. That's the type of player he is. He's a Harry Kane type player. Awani is the opposite. Awani wants to run through the middle and shin the ball in the back of the net. Because they're so different, you literally have to change the tactics and change the front line based on who's in front. And I said it last season, and I'll say it again. I think that's where we fall down, because you have to change the whole tactical setup based on who is your striker.
The thing is, right, I understand what you're saying, 100%. but I also sometimes you don't want to change the way you're playing. If you're playing like with a Taiwo, when you've got you've got wingers bombing forward, passing it in, him breaking the lines, midfielders moving up, then all of a sudden you're having to totally change it. If you bring on Wood, you're having to totally change it.
No,
you
that's
don't want
that's the point I'm getting at. I don't want to see that. I'd rather have strikers of the same type of player.
I understand that, but I've seen
agree.
many teams that have. I'm only putting something forward now. I've seen many teams that have. I mean, Arsenal's one, right? That have similar strikers, right? And everybody's crying out for a different type of striker so they can change the game. So what I'm trying to say is there's pluses and minuses on both sides of that argument.
Yeah, but if you have three,
you can't change. And if you have two different ones, you have to change. So context.
But if you have your two main strikers as a similar type of player, but you then need that backup player to either play in a different tactical formation, or if one of them gets injured, they have to drop in. In the same way, I'll give praise to Elanga. Some people don't rate Elanga, but he's perfect. If you're playing a team that has a high line, if you're playing a team that is knackered and there's 20 minutes to go and you put someone like Elanga on, he's going to be amazing because he's going to be running down the wing. He's going to get all past all their defenders. You can chop balls over to him. It's, he has the skill and the ability to be a good player, but you have to play him right. You can't. I mean, I don't agree with playing him in the false nine. I don't think that's fair.
No, I don't think anybody does.
That's not what he's there for. But you can use Elanga as a tactical asset, and he does link up well with someone like Wood because Wood does want the crosses coming into the box. And another thing, Elanga was on corners as well, which is interesting.
It wasn't.
Yes. Yeah. It's only taken 2 years to sort that out. Just quickly, some of you are saying Sosa can play up front. Some of you are saying Jota can play up front. It's Jota that can play anywhere across the line, not Sosa. Some of you are asking on a Sosa update. As far as we know, it's deal done, and we were told he was in Notts on Friday. So that's where we are with it, as far as we know. I know there's conflicting stories, so it depends what side of the sourcing you are. From our side of things, we've heard he's deal done. So and he was having his medical, something like that. So I know there's conflicting stories.
Sorry. I was just about to say, I agree with Keith as you put it all. I agree with Keith. Yeah. Somebody like a younger, fitter Callum Wilson, but how much would that cost? A younger, fitter Callum Wilson,
Yeah, and the thing is, like Tony's saying here, Bertels. I heard Bertels got it in the ear for was it Solanke he wanted or something, yeah. And then apparently he got all kinds of hate and abuse on it.
Yeah. No,
we know Rob's saying Solanke. We know Rob's saying Solanke as well. I just think some of our fan base has an inferiority complex, man. Why can't we go for a Solanke? I don't want Solanke. I don't know. Just hear me out. I don't want a Solanke, yeah? But are you seriously telling me Bournemouth are a bigger club than Forest? My God, if Forest came for Solanke and he had to choose between Forest and Bournemouth, there's only one choice to be made. So what's this inferiority complex going on here? So
I'd take Ivan Toney.
Saying it about Sangare. You'll never get him, no chance.
Exactly. I don't want him. I think we could go higher. I think we could go higher than that idiot.
I would actually take Toney at the right price.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's where you're going right, Ez, I think. Go on.
Tony's a sharp.
Go Tony.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, again, like I said, for the right price, 40 to 45 million. I think the way we play, I think he would suit us down to the ground, and I think he's a solid player. As much of a cheaty as he is, you'd want him playing for you, definitely. And we saw the impact he made for England as well.
In fact, he is like a slightly younger, fitter Callum Wilson, actually. So he would be ideal. And, proper battering ram, proper striker.
And not that I want to cuss Morgan because he's scored his penalties, but that pigeon step, I can't be fucking doing with it, mate. Give Tony the penalties, sign him, give him the fucking penalties. And
my God, Ed has already given him a shirt number and everything.
But the chat, I know he's a cheating bastard, but is Tony the type of player you guys would be looking at?
I think Tony's a brilliant shout. He is a cheating bastard, but there's other players.
Why is anybody bothered about that? That's not fun.
Exactly. None of you care about that for one of our left backs who's pretty shit. So look, I think
He actually
I
looked
think
really good
Tony
when he
would-
came on. I got to say, he did
I
look
think
good
Tony
when he
would be
came
brilliant.
on. Right.
Look, what I'm saying, Tony's not going to come, okay? But
Why?
I'm
Hang
with
on,
what
hang
Ez
on,
is-
hang on, hang on. Why?
Why
Well,
wouldn't
because he does want to move for European football.
Yeah, but
Yeah?
nobody's going
nobody's
for him, are
coming in
I
for him.
haven't finished my freaking sentence, right?
No,
So
you
I
they?
can't.
Started with, we're not.
I said he's not
Tiny,
going to come. I didn't say why, right? But here's my thing. I can't. Who's on the phone? I think it might have been you, Ant. My idea for Tony would be buy him out for the 40 million or whatever they want, right? But their striker that they brought to replace him, I think, has got injured. But they still need to sell Tony because Brentford have no money. But anyway, buy him out for the 45 mil. Offer him a break clause to a Champions League club next summer for 60 mil minimum release.
Yeah, that's all right.
That, you know, I'd be good with that. I'd be good with that. If we put Tony up front, we're European football guaranteed next year. That's what I'm saying here. And yeah, he is a scummy little player, but it's like, you know, if Richarlison turned up at Forest tomorrow, we'd back him.
Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong
Maybe
with
that's
having a
what we need.
scummy
That's
player
what we
in your
need.
side. We all need scummy players, you know.
You
They're
need a shit
You
house,
find
yeah.
the scummy players.
It's the
are
same
often
as
the best
someone
players.
like Jordan Pickford. I mean, our vice captain's a shit house, Ryan Yates. You know, that's what he does when he comes on the pitch. It's shit housery. I don't mind that type of play. You know, at least he's good at something.
Loads are saying Adebayo in the chat. He's too injury prone.
You mean
for me.
Adebayo, not Adebayo.
No, I like calling him Adebayo.
Adebayo's
Man.
a bit old, I reckon.
Yeah, I know, but I still like calling him Adebayo. He's too injury prone for me. He's okay, but injury prone. Would anyone take him? Chat yes or no on Adebayo.
Only because it would hinder the way we'd play. That's not the way I want to play. You need, if you're playing a big man, you're gonna have to play to his strengths.
Yeah, but he's got good pace. He can run in behind.
Pace, but he's still not one. He's not going to be one running in behind, mate. He's somebody you need to get it up to and get players around him. And if we do decide to play that way, then that's fine. But again, it's like Crypto alluded to. It's a change of play style again to suit the striker. I don't know. Not for me. Not for me.
Can I say somebody in the chat's just put Carlos Miguel up front, and yeah, you laugh at it. And then I thought,
you know you can pull the comments up yourself, and have a little respect to the chat.
Yeah, sorry, I forget.
Yeah, that's a David James type thing, that is, mate.
I know, no, but it just as I looked at it, I didn't sort of react to it in my mind. But then I thought, you know what? As just like a play, last minute, you're a goal down, corner.
Shoot Pierce as your manager? No, it didn't work.
Exactly. Get him up there. He's going to cause havoc, isn't he? He's got a 6'8", just jumping. He's going to have players all around him.
Pierce did it with David James. That didn't work out.
But even watching Milenkovic, mate.
It nearly did, though. He told us
it
nearly did. He could.
Right, hold on. I got to catch up with some super chats. Right, Christofsky with the £2. Thank you so much, bro. He's saying break the bank on a striker, and we good to go. I am fully behind that one.
Me too.
100%. Nick Clark with the 15 months. You read from Logan. He says, and just a quickie, he's asked me to ask you guys. So this is Logan, his son, who's got a football team, and they're trying to get a new kit together. So if anyone's got a spare couple of pennies to help with the grassroots football, I'll put the link in the chat now. Anything you can donate, you know, £1, £5, £10, whatever it is, to help out the youngster Logan, who's just a diehard Red. Just give him a little pound here and there, and they'll be more than appreciative of it. So the link's there. Make sure you show our boy Logan some love there. And we got Liam with the 79 super sticker. Thank you so much, bud. That, I think, brings us up to date. Other than just a quick reminder on the likes, ladies and gents, we've got 400 on YouTube. We've got 746 across the platform. And how are we doing on the likes here? It's 110. That's 25% likes for YouTube. YouTube, you're letting the side down, YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. And also let me know if you hit the ticket number 25 on football prizes and get yourself the Forest new kit straight away. And don't forget, the overall prize this week is for a fully signed shirt squad. The link's pinned in the chat, or ! prize. Go grab those tickets. Already half of them have gone. Okay. We talked about the strikers. I want to just move on just for the sake of time, because I really want to ask you guys, well, give me some names, but we've done a bit of that. Let's talk about Murillo, because he's had a little bit of a lazy preseason. I don't know if that's the right word. Is that the right word I'm looking for? Not lazy.
Yeah,
Is that the right word?
sloppy,
You know,
sloppy.
sloppy one.
Probably, yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
TC chucking the name in of Osman. He's going straight. I don't think he's been that good. He was crap in the AFCON. But
I'd rather
No,
have
he's
Tony than
quality, man.
Osman. I'd rather have
Huh?
Tony than Osman.
Would
I'd rather
you?
have Tony than
so
Osman.
would I would.
Definitely.
I think you're underrating Osimhen, man. He's got a lot more.
I've watched
to
him for the last season for Napoli and
It
for
wasn't great.
Nigeria, and nothing.
It wasn't
Nothing.
great. And then Mark in the
He's
chat
not
there.
right.
I heard you were holding Ez's hand on Wednesday night
As
or
always,
Friday, whenever.
very, very cozy, weren't we, Mark? It was very nice. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for £5, Marky boy. Good to see you. He says, "Hit the like, you Reds." Make sure you do what Mark says. Let's talk about Murillo. Crypto. Some of his passes, which were usually laser-like, especially against Villarreal, were a little off the mark. Some he got kind of underneath and ended up grass cutting them a little. And then obviously he's given away 2 penalties now in pre-season. Is he being complacent, or is he just becoming too relaxed when it comes to the Premier League? Is there anything we should be worried about? Chat, are you worried at all?
I don't think so. I mean, players will they'll take preseason differently. Let's say that. I mean, complacency, maybe it is preseason. Effort, again, they're not going to be putting 100% effort in. So we all know how good Murillo is. I don't all of a sudden think he's going to drop off. He was probably, our best player last year. Some people will say Morgan Gibbs-White, but he was fantastic. He's 21. He's only going to get better. There's no way he's gonna get worse. I think it's just a preseason thing. Every player is going to react differently to preseason. Some people are going to give it their all. Some people are going to think, this doesn't mean much and kind of play it as a friendly game. So he's going to be great. I've got full confidence in him. I think him and the new signing at the back are going to be perfect. And he'll have a good connection as well if he does start with Carlos Miguel. So that for me would be really interesting to see. But I've got zero worries about Murillo. And we know what his passing is like. He's one of the best passers in the team. Yeah. He did. I can't remember what match it was in preseason as well. He did try to make a run like he did last season through the middle of the pitch and nearly scored. So look, he's maybe not going to be 100% on it at the moment, but we don't need that at the moment. What we need to do is find our starting 11. And I'm sure as soon as that Bournemouth match comes up, they'll all be on it and ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Murillo, he's taken his eye off the ball a little bit, but I have no concerns once the season kicks off that he'll be back on it, and I expect he will improve again this season. We saw his first season in the Premier League. I don't expect him to stagnate this season. I expect him to get even better. And with Milenkovic alongside, I've got another thing I got to point out. I think Crypto kind of touched on it, but how huge your players look when you see him on the pitch. I mean, they had who was it that played up front for them? Danjuma. And he towered above him. He's not a small player. He's at least 6'2", and he towered above him, and he made him look tiny. He looked solid on the ground as well. There was one occasion where he was a little slow to the ball, but he recovered so well. So he's no slouch on the ball either. I think Murillo will get better. I think we don't need to worry about preseason with him. I think when the season properly kicks off, I've got no concerns about the quality that he's got. And I think, like I said, I think he'll get better this season. He just needs to keep his mind on it.
And it's not that I'm worried that he gets complacent. I guess my question on Murillo is, last season, no one knew him, bit from the opposition, everything. This season, I mean, it's probably half FFTV's fault because we don't shut up about him. Everyone knows about him. And is that going to hinder him a bit? Is he going to have to recalculate how he plays? You sometimes see that with strikers, not so much with defenders, but is that something to consider?
Well, first of all, as regards his pre-season form, it's been poor. I mean, if we didn't know it was Murillo, you'd be thinking, what's this idiot doing? Kicking lumps out of play. I mean, look at that run he did against Villarreal. It's easy for me to say. Where he was going on one of his rampaging runs and he lost control of the ball and he went clattering it. We can't do that. You can't do that in the Premier League. You know what I mean? But I think that once the Premier League starts, and especially once the transfer window's closed, I think that we'll see the Murillo that we all know and love. His quality. It's fast. Well, I won't go on about his quality because we know his qualities, right?
Yeah, remember we got to tell everyone
your point about whether it'll be figured out. Yeah, of course, that's inevitable. I mean, when teams are playing Forest, they're going to say. But the difference now is, if you say to your striker, right, pull off Murillo, so you're not against it because he's so strong and quick. They've got fucking Milenkovic now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh shit, now you're running into a brick shit house. You know what I mean? So opposition have got an issue there. They'll probably go around the sides trying to avoid them. You know, it's like they're mountains, aren't they? They're both one's a mountain that way, and the other's a mountain that way. You know, it's not nice for the opposition. I'm quite confident about our defense because if you think about last season, we were one of the top teams in the division if you discounted set piece goals.
Yes.
People forget that our defense is actually
discount set piece goals, man. They count, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I tell you what, I don't know, because if that's something you can fix, you can fix your defending against set pieces.
Yeah.
So once you fix that, what I'm trying to say is the rest of our defensive play was pretty damn good last season. We didn't give a lot of chances away. You know, look how many games we lost 3-2 and they only had 4 shots. You know, so
the stats will tell you,
So now, if we can get those defensive set pieces sorted out, I'm confident our defense is not going to let a lot of goals in. We've got some good defenders.
Just to touch on that stat, so we were the top 4 teams with the lowest XG against us in open play. So that does count for something, definitely. You know,
that's the way I meant to put it.
There's only Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City that had a better record in that sense. But going back to what I was going to say about Murillo, one thing, barring injury, that we should see this season is that he'll have a regular partner. Now, last season, how many times did he? He was the regular.
That's because he's just got married, as.
Hey,
that's because he's just got married.
Where's come on? Where is it, Wolfie?
He is right.
Actually, it wasn't that bad. But
it wasn't that bad.
Pretty good,
I think he is right. Marriage does change. I just watched Bad Boys Ride or Die, or whatever it was called, the new one. And mate, Will Smith, no spoilers here, but Will Smith, he wasn't taking the risks he took. You know, Mike Lowry, man, because he got married.
We all know nice life films, don't we?
Yeah,
I'm just saying. You know,
I'm not sure Will Smith's marriage is the best example.
Yeah, not the best example.
Mike Lowry, then. Sorry, has gone.
No, so that's got to count for something. But he will, like I say, barring injury, Milenkovic will be his partner in crime going forward, and that's got to count for something for him to have that stability. But he was ever present last season, so the worry isn't for Murillo. Let's see how well Milenkovic settles in. It looks really good so far. It is key to think. I think it is really important that Nuno nails down who his starting goalkeeper is going to be. Because that is part of your back line, you know.
Well, let's move on to that, Ez. What are you saying here? Because I'm confused in my head now about this.
I think Matt Sells has done himself no harm, you know, and I would say the starting lineup, but this is where we're going to go a bit further into the 6 and 8 discussion as well in a bit, because I don't think that's our 6 and 8 that I'd start the season with. So was that an indicator? Was that starting lineup against Villarreal an indicator of what Nuno's looking to do for the Bournemouth game? I'm not sure. The goalkeeper position is the one that's still baffling me, but Matt Sells has done himself no harm whatsoever, and he wasn't the issue last season. The issue was the defense and the players around him at the time. So I find it really harsh for him not to start the season.
I think it's a bit harsh to say the issue was the defense last season. I think the issue was the midfield letting all of that pressure get onto the defense.
Yeah, it's part of it.
No, because it was set pieces. It was set pieces. You know, that was...
Yeah, but you can't play midfield. It was
We didn't just let in... Hang on, Critter. We didn't just let in more set pieces than anybody else. We let in loads more set pieces.
Yeah,
than
but you
anybody
can't
else.
just blame the two centre backs for conceding every set piece. A lot of them were Nico Williams letting them go over his head.
Well, he would be
Centre
part
halves
of the
are quite
back four, wouldn't
important.
he?
Yeah, but
Anyway,
I'm saying I'm not
we're
blaming
different
the
this
two
season, aren't we?
central.
We're gonna have a different defense this season, anyway, aren't we? What's
Mm.
our
Well,
Premier League,
let's
by
just
the
carry
way?
on with the goalkeeper discussion here, because
goalkeeper.
I've put a poll in the chat.
Yeah.
Who's number one? Sells, Miguel, Turner. There's trollers, man. There's literal trollers in
Of
this
course
chat.
there is.
Or a new keeper, i.e. a Ramsdale or a Kelleher or a
Mm.
Sam Johnson who's still linked to Forest.
You
Get
you
your
know-
votes
you know-
in on that chat.
Okay.
Go on, man.
You know this. Everybody's discussing this. Who's going? And I understand why they're discussing who the goalkeeper is going to be. But to me, it's quite simple. Sells is our goalkeeper. I think we paid £4 million, less than £4 million for Miguel. It's not like we spent a fortune on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he's coming in as the backup goalkeeper. I really do.
Yeah, but we spent hardly anything on Aina, and he's our number one left back.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, but we didn't have somebody that was there at the time.
We did Tuffalo.
Yeah, we did.
Exactly. We
And
didn't have anybody
Aina
there
was
at
a
the
free
time.
anyway, so you're not going to be paying for a free.
Right.
No, but okay, just don't. I don't like this price tagging because you can buy a 50 million
I
player
agree,
or a 5 million player.
I agree.
Because,
No, I
like
agree with that.
Miguel came in at 3.4 when he's probably valued at 15. Is just the clause that got us
but
that
Wolfie,
cheap deal.
What I'm not saying it's got anything to do with that. What I'm saying is
Maybe you did.
people's no.
If,
No,
if
what I'm
it we're
saying
basing it on that, we should
no,
have
if you
Lacademos
shut
in
your
goal for
fucking mouth,
22,
let me speak.
22
I'll say
million.
something. All right.
God,
Fucking hell. Right.
God.
So what I'm saying is that people are acting as if we bought in a number one goalkeeper automatically.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
we only paid 3.4 million for him. If we'd have paid 15 million for him, if you're paying 30 and getting out of Ramsdale, yes, you know you're bringing in a number one. But people are making the assumption that is going to be number one goalkeeper, and that's not fair because the guy's never even played in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He's not as experienced as Sells. He's not the incumbent number one. So why are people assuming that he's going to come in and walk into the team? I don't get it.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I'll be honest. You know what? If it's based on how confident I'd feel, I'd be much more confident with Matt Sells starting the season because Miguel is an unknown quantity right now. We don't know if we're going to get a superstar or a liability, but we know what we're going to get with Matt Sells. He's solid. You know, he's no nonsense. His distribution's good. His saves are pretty good. I can't really blame him for many goals that we conceded last season. So for me, confidence-wise, I'd be much more confident starting the season with Matt Sells in goal.
Yeah, but the
Do you know
thing
what?
is,
Do you know what I would do?
what?
I'd start the keeper. Whoever thinks Nuno is the best keeper based on how they are in training. That's what I would do. Because I don't think that either of them have been put there to sit on the bench. Obviously, one will have to, but I don't think they want that. I think they're good enough to be first choice goalkeepers. So whoever's performing the best for me, and I don't know who that is, I'd start them.
I just don't agree. Look, for me, Sells is good but not perfect. I think he's too slow to react, especially low balls and stuff. And I was saying this at the end of last season. This isn't new for me to say. And the fact that Forest have gone and recruited a goalkeeper and are still after another goalkeeper surely indicates that Nuno is on the same line of thinking as well. And that's my point here. And that's like a week ago, I was thinking, why do we need another goalkeeper? But seeing Miguel's kicking, and it's what Ricardo said to us, our Corinthians mate, that his kicking is weak. His kicking was not great when he came on against Villarreal. And that's what's worried me, and that's triggered me to think, okay, maybe I can see why we're talking about another keeper. And if you can get a Ramsdale or you can get a Kelleher, they come straight in, man. Look, there's got to be no sentiment in this crap. I don't care if Miguel came in for 5 minutes and then he becomes third choice keeper if we're upgrading. We got to be cutthroat now. There's got to be none of this. Oh, let's play.
But you'd have to be upgraded. You'd have to be upgraded to worldy. I mean, Ramsdale, yes, I 100% agree. But I wouldn't bring in like another £5 million keeper and say, it would have to be like a star signing in that position.
It's like, but it gets me when people say, "Well, we've got him, or we've got him." If we had Ivan Toney in our attack right, and he was brilliant for us and got us 20 goals, but we could get Haaland, I'd say, yeah, get Haaland. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't
Yes.
matter how good somebody is. If you can get better, you get better.
Yeah.
Mm.
Doesn't matter who's already there.
So who
So
you all saying here then? So who you all saying? So Ant, you're going with who currently?
Sells.
Let's-
I think Sells is, yeah.
Sells
But
for me.
one of the choices is a new goalkeeper.
If wait, come on, you got to say which
Oh,
you
I
can't.
forgot.
You
Yeah,
can't.
no,
You can't say not count his 13
All right.
goalkeepers. Come on.
He's quite good, actually.
Okay. What are you saying, Crypto?
I mean, based on only what I've seen, I'd have to choose Sells. If Ramsdale came in, I'd put Ramsdale in. But for the time being, for me, I'd have to go with Sells.
I concur.
Yeah, unanimous. Yeah, for me.
I don't agree. Let me just clear this up, right? Why is there report still saying that Rip Sports didn't agree a deal for Shelby from us? I can 100% categorically tell you Shelby is not a Forest player. Full stop. End of discussion, right? So let me clear that up for everyone. So all these reports, I've seen a couple of them today and yesterday. They are all BS. He is not on the Forest books whatsoever. I've had that confirmed from high up. Okay, so just to clarify that all for you. Okay, let's move on. We've
Paul,
got...
do I look not chilled out, mate?
Paul,
Yeah,
it's just that you just gotta get used to him. He's like a scab. Eventually, he peels off, and
No, I'm like a firework. I eventually, sometimes I go off.
Let's just catch up a couple of super chats. Nick with the 4.99. Thank you so much. He says we want to get FFTV on the front of the shirts. I mean, that would be pretty damn cool.
Awesome.
So, guys, if there's anything you can donate to help young Logan with his football team, getting their kits and their training gear and everything with an FFTV logo on the front, just click on that link. Even if you can donate £1 to help. I mean, what age is he now, Nick? I can't remember. Sorry, logo, I forgot. But
the thing is, as well as a sponsor on the front of the shirt, it's a perfect logo, and it look really. You think how good our logo would look on the front of the shirt?
Think of the clout. Think of the clout around that team, man. They'll automatically be the best team in that league as well. You know, just by default.
Or the most hated one of the two.
it will be entertaining either way, won't it? It'll be entertaining either way. So shout out there to Nick. Please help Logan if you can. The link's in the comments right now. We're 19 away from 200 likes. We've got 855 of you across the FFTV network.
And how close are we to that magical 20k in terms of
we are 51 subscribers away from 20k.
Across the network, guys. Somebody, please do it tonight.
Get it done tonight. This is groundbreaking. This will be officially the first ever Forest YouTube channel to get over 20 fan channel to get over 20k. So you can help us out with that. If you're sitting there in the background, hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, it's completely free to do. And let's see if we can do it. As Marilla says, do it. Okay. And yeah, don't forget your tickets for the Signed Forest shirt as well. Scan that QR code. Okay. Let's talk about the big discussion. 6 and 8. Ez, who's our best 6 and 8? Chat, put your 2 candidates in, and I will be holding receipts on this one. So remember, we can go back and check everything you've ever written, right? So if you're going to say, I don't know, whoever, Sangare and Yates, it will be on the record forever. So get it in the chat. Who is your 6 and 8? Ez, tell us yours and why.
Right, I'm going to tell it you.
Before you do, TC, don't try question marks at the end to try and then down the line be like, oh, well, it was more thing. No, I want no question marks, no exclamation marks. I want clear, ballsy answers from you guys in the chat. Sorry, Ez, go on.
Well, first off, I love the headache that Nuno's going to have here.
Yes.
But what it does mean, and again, I think Crypto touched on it, we have different types of midfielders there. So it's giving him options for types of games. Now,
that's it.
I'm going to base it. I'm going to base it. Well, I'm going to base it on how I'd start against Bournemouth as is. And for that game, Sangare would be my number 6. And I would actually pair him with Dominguez for that game. I loved it when Dominguez's energy when he came on. He was all over the place, you know, and he gets himself in a box as well. as number 8, I think he's been the most attacking number 8 out of a lot. But then I'm going to throw a curveball in, because when Elliot came on, he looked so composed.
Oh, you're on first name basis now, mate. Elliot, is it?
He looked like the most Premier League player out of a lot of them.
Yeah,
you know?
he did. Yeah,
He genuinely did, and he didn't give a ball away for, once that I can remember. But I think we're not as dynamic with Sangare and them two starting together. So for dynamism, and I think this is why he goes with Danilo, because Danilo is right in that middle between, for me, between Dominguez and Dominguez and Elliot. So for me, he's gives that extra option. But for me, if I was starting against Bournemouth tomorrow, it would be Sangare, number 6, and I'd start him with Dominguez.
Okay. And
well, I feel really guilty because when I was giving my brief summary of pre-season, I forgot Elliot Anderson, who I think looks, as Ed says, he looks absolutely he looks absolutely Premier League quality. His control and his dribbling ability and he's a bloody good player. I mean, I knew he was anyway, but I've been really impressed with him. So it's a bit of a headache, and it's, as I said, it's a fantastic headache to have. Bournemouth, I think the question is really who's partnering Sangare, is it? Not who's your 6 and 8. I think we're
not necessarily. You might want Yates as your 6.
Yeah. Okay.
You're asking the wrong group there, mate.
I've seen 1 or 2 in the chat.
Yeah, they're trolls, aren't they? So I personally would go Sangare and Danilo. Even though I love Dominguez, I love Anderson. I would have to go Sangare and Danilo because I think Danilo's been really good this preseason. He's got a bit of everything. We know what he can produce, but the gap between them is so small. It could be. I wouldn't mind any of them, but I would personally go. I think Danilo's got more dynamism front to back. You know what I mean? I mean, Dominguez is everywhere, but he's mainly a terrier up front. By that I mean pressing on their defense and stuff.
Yeah.
I think coming back, I think Danilo's a better option. But they're all very similar. And Elliot, I'm getting like you now. Our mate Elliot. I'm not quite sure what his best position is, to be honest. He looks good wherever he plays. He played left wing at one point and looked great on there as well, you know. So
you're stealing. You're about to steal my thunder.
Well, I was going to say I'm going to change it for you, Crypto, a little bit.
I'll stick at that then. I'll say for me, I wouldn't mind which combination it was, but for me, I would go Sangare Danilo for that first game.
Well, just before I bring you in, Crypto, I've been looking through the comments. Loads are pretty much saying Sangare Dominguez or Sangare Danilo or Sangare Anderson. So I've put it in a poll and I've given you guys another option of another pairing because there's too many comments coming in. I can't keep up with it. And yeah, Tony, no tumbleweed needed on that one. So get your pairings in. I don't think anyone can really be wrong. Well, in my mind, you could be wrong if you said one player, but we won't go down that road. But go on, Crypto, who are you saying?
So I'd have Yates in the number 6. No, I'm joking. Tumbleweed.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
No, look, this is what I would do, and people may disagree, but I'd have Sangare in the 6, Danilo in the 8, because I think they're both brilliant. I think they look like they're going to be sharp this season. But then, maybe controversially, I would have to put Anderson on the left wing and Cho on the right wing, and MGW in the 10. So what I'm having is Sangare, Danilo, Morgan Gibbs-White in the 10, and then Anderson out left and Hudson-Odoi on the right. So I'm effectively dropping Alanga from the team for the moment. Because I think they're such good players that they all need to be on the pitch. And I think the one player who's maybe not quite in form at the moment is Alanga. So that's why
you're opening a whole can of worms here. Because then what you're doing with Jota, what you're doing with Sosa.
Exactly. You know, why are we bringing in wingers?
Yeah, but we're talking about Bournemouth.
No, it's about the 6 and the 8, man. You're bringing in 10s and wingers now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd have all three. I'd have all 3 of them on the pitch.
You can't. Okay. Well, then you're changing the formation.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Don't you
not.
feel?
You
What
are.
I was going to ask
I'm
you,
not changing
Crypto,
the
is
formation.
I'm with Crypto on this. It's not.
sti-
It's just
it's still a
he's swapping,
4-2,
he's swapping
4-2-2.
the wingers over. That's all. And
No, I
putting
know,
Anderson
but
in.
you
I'm
got-
just dropping Alanga and switching the wingers.
yeah, but we've just signed potentially 2 new wingers, and you're going to play Elliot Anderson on the wing. What I was going to ask you, Crypto, is don't you think it's going to be a case of horses for courses, and that Nuno throughout the season will mix up his 6 and 8 throughout the season? He won't just. I think he will start with.
That didn't work last season. We changed it nearly every
No,
game.
that's because I don't think he had good options. The number 6 wasn't solid. The number 6 needs to be solid. The 8, I think
If Sangare is on form,
It's
Sangare
Sangare and
is on
somebody, isn't it?
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
be honest.
6 that season.
The reason why I put Sangare there, one is because he's good, two is because he's in form. But I think Sangare is more defensive, right? The defensive-minded midfielders for me are basically Sangare and Ryan Yates. Danilo, Dominguez, Anderson are players who want to go forward. So for me, the only option really for the 6 is Sangare, because I don't think Danilo, Dominguez, maybe Dominguez, but I don't think Danilo is good enough to sit back and defend, to be honest. I think Danilo is much better on the attack. So it has to be Sangare in the 6. I don't see any other option apart from
No, I don't think there's any argument there.
the Yates sympathising
But
fan.
I don't know. I think Danilo could do a 6. I don't
He's
think
not
he was
great at
great at it.
tackling. He's not great at putting tackles in. We saw that
I'm
last
not
season.
convinced. Yeah, well, I'm not convinced
He's
if
bought
that's
as
the
a 6.
answer. But my question to Crypto was that, so assuming that Sangare is the 6, don't you think throughout the season, depending on the opposition, that Nuno will switch up the number 8 that plays with him? It won't be.
Potentially, yeah. Because it's a good problem to have, isn't it? You've got Anderson, Dominguez, and Danilo, who are all excellent players. And they are slightly different. I mean, Danilo wants to go straight forward and attack on goal. Dominguez, for me, is more of a playmaker. He's very good at passing. He's very good at getting into spaces. He needs to be in the games where he's got a lot of work to do. I mean, he normally spends he's normally the person on the pitch who spends the furthest amount. I haven't said this very well. He runs the most effectively. He covers the most mileage when he's playing. He's always there. He's dropping in and out. He gets in the box. He's a playmaker. He comes back. But again, you can use these in different tactical games. If you've got a high line against you, you probably want a fast player who's just going to run through the middle. If there's people who are sitting back, you want Dominguez there playing the ball around the edge of the box, trying to set up chances for people. You can use them differently, but I think Sangare for me is definitely the 6. Who you put in the 8 is up for question.
Yeah, and I think that's Nuno's headache for the season. Sorry. No, I was going to say that I think that is Nuno's headache for the season, but it's a very good headache to have. But why I would go with Dominguez is because he actually gets in the box. Danilo gets in and around the area, will take shots from the outside of the box, but Danilo gets himself on the edge of cross in the box on the end of crosses and things like that. And that's not something we have in from the other midfielders. Even MG Dub, he's on the edge of the box. You know, he's making the chances. He's not the one getting in there. So that's where Dominguez is ahead for me. But the other concern with Dominguez is I still haven't seen 90 minutes from him.
Yeah, but that's because his work rates are so high. Man.
Absolutely.
He reminds me of Kante. He reminds me of Kante.
Absolutely.
He's
but
everywhere.
The most we've seen out of him is 65 minutes. That's not even close enough, you know. But it's a squad game, and our squad is big enough, and you've got enough substitutions where you will have players that will impact the game later on in the game, and that's a fantastic headache for Nuno.
But then don't forget, you've effectively got our signature signing, Anderson. What are you going to do? Put him on the bench?
Why? You got to get this out of your head. He's not a signing. He's not.
Yeah,
go on. He's not
I know you're going to compare it to Vlachodimos. I know you're going to compare it to Vlachodimos.
He's 13 million, man. It's like circa 13 million. So like that would make, I don't know, who have we bought that's more expensive? Elanga would be more of a marquee signing than him. You got to get out of your head. That is all PSR playground stuff. Yeah. He is 13 to 15 million, end of. And I think that's why, like, when he first came and everyone was saying 35, everyone's expecting, oh, well, we paid 30 for Sangare. This guy's now our marquee signing. He's not. We've got to stop thinking about price tags with him. But he is good. I'm not saying because he's been brilliant. He's been brilliant. He's been brilliant. Just before I come to you, man, just got to catch up on a couple of super chats. Got our boy Noah in the chat. Good to see you back in here, bud, with the 199. Hi,
Nice
hi
to
guys.
know.
Sorry, not been on a lot, been through a lot. And he says, with his girlfriend cheating, but back and better, mate. Like, we're here if you need to chat about that. We've all got experience of that. Some of us the other way around. But yeah, it's
Was he pointing at me? And
all the way around. Yeah. But listen, mate, if we're here if you need us, drop us a WhatsApp. We're always ready for a chat. But thank you, and it's good to have you back now. I hope your head's in the right place now, buddy. And yeah, let's on that note jump to Ant. On that, I mean, and just to tell you where the chat's head is at on this. 41% are saying Sangare and Danilo, 33% are saying Sangare and Dominguez, 19% Sangare and Anderson, and then 7% another pairing.
Yeah,
like
I get that.
it's pretty split, isn't it? It's pretty split.
And I'm glad it is, because it shows you what quality we've got to come in and to change. The point I was going to make a point about Dominguez, who I remind you I absolutely adore. It is a concern that he's not been.
But you didn't pick him.
No, I did not for this game. No, I'm saving him for the big games.
This is category
on the
A,
point about him not lasting, which we know the reason for that. I'm hoping that this season, with Sangare being a bit more fluent in his mobility, that he will be able to cover some of the space and some of the breaks that Dominguez had to cover last season. Because if you think about, I mean, when I was one of the things that I was impressed with Sangare, which is a big part of his game, was he gets his foot in. You know, he breaks up play. And normally when he breaks up play, he manages to get hold of the ball as well and play it, which is fantastic. We didn't have that last season. We had Yates in there who just fouled somebody, yeah?
Or broke up the play, to be fair to him. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But he broke up the play, but never triggered an attacking motion.
Yeah, and when you break up the play like that, you're giving the ball to the opposition. Yeah. So, and you're defensive, and then you're facing a set piece, and we let it in. So, yeah, I'll be happier with Sangare on form playing there, and I think that will enable Dominguez to save a little bit of energy. That's what I'm hoping anyway, because he is a tiger. I mean, my thoughts about Dominguez when I think about him is his terrier-like application. That's what I think. I don't think of him spraying balls about. I don't think of
but he's very forward-thinking, though. He's very forward-thinking. Yeah, I don't make him many side
and he has
passes.
scored a couple of fantastic goals as well.
The assist as well, the other game with the laid-off header to Wood was fantastic, man. He's not even a big guy.
I'm so pleased that we've got him, Danilo, Anderson. I mean, come on. You know,
he's got that footballing brain that we've been asking for, and Dominguez is definitely
upset at the end of last season. At the end of last season, I was really upset. In fact, I put on
That's
Twitter,
an understatement.
Sack fucking Nuno. You know, he's not picked Dominguez. So that shows you what I think of the guy. So you know, the fact that I've picked Danilo, don't think that's a slight on Dominguez, because it certainly isn't. I just think that at the moment against Bournemouth, that would be the way I would go.
Is Danilo consistent enough looking at his track record? If we look at him over the last 18 months, is he consistent enough?
Probably not. He probably hasn't been. That's something you need to add to his game, and we can only hope that he does. And if he doesn't, then you drop him. That's football. That's the reality.
But the way you guys are talking,
now. Sorry,
the way you guys are
that
talking,
will help him as well, won't it? To have competition will push him on, hopefully.
I don't know. The vibe I'm getting from you guys right now is you would mix it up depending on who we're playing. Whereas I'm more of the mindset I'm more of the mindset of screw the opposition. I mean, this is Cloughie's mindset, isn't it? This is our team. We do what we're meant to do. If we do that, we'll have a positive result.
Wolfie, I'm with you, and I'm from that era, but football has moved on massively in 4 or 5 decades. You know, it's moved on massively, and you do have to listen. In Cloughie's last season, Ron Fenton was giving team talks behind Cloughie's back, because Cloughie was like exactly the same. Oh, don't care about the opposition. But the likes of Fenton and Liam O'Kane were giving proper training and team talks behind Cloughie's back, because the game had moved on, and the game's moved on even further since then. So you do have to adapt your play. And look at the squad size you've got now. Five subs. You can tactically use those subs, and they've got to play a part. It's something we criticised Southgate for throughout the summer. You know, playing the subs at the wrong place. We criticised Nuno for it last season. You know, being reactive. Go on.
It's easy to keep the same team when you're the best team in the world, like Forest were in those days, and we were.
Yeah.
We were European champions twice running. We were 42 games unbeaten. We won the league. We were the best team in the world. So when you're the best team in the world, you don't have to worry about the opposition.
Yeah.
Man City don't worry about the opposition. When Man City do worry about the opposition, they fucking lose. Look against Chelsea in the European Cup final a few years ago. They changed to try and combat Chelsea and they lost. No, if you're the best team in the world, you can do that.
That's my point.
We're not the best team in the world.
Yeah, we're not.
How do you get to the best team in the world or improve? You've got to have partnerships. You said it earlier, or was it Ez, where Murillo kept chopping partners? You guys are basically saying do this in the 6 and the 8, which is meant to be the heartbeat of the team. Do you get the point I'm making there?
Absolutely, you're right. But maybe if we beat Bournemouth 3-0, then you keep the same team, don't you? But if you then 3 games later, if you starting to lose games, then you have to change it. So you do have to change it depending on
there was an interesting interview. I think it's from Morgan Gibbs White saying that there's some players in the team who he has this almost like psychic connection with. I think he called out Callum Hudson-Odoi, and he says he knows
with John because he looks like he's still fucking passing to him.
Yeah, well, they give each other the eye, and they know when they need to make runs. For me, whoever's in that number 8 has got to be linking up with Morgan Gibbs White. They've got to be on the same kind of mindset as MGW, because the ball needs to go forward to him effectively. It could go out to the wings, which is fine, but most of the time it's going to go forward to MGW in the hole.
I don't know. It's a headache, boys. I'm looking at it's a nice, as you said, Ed. It's a nice headache. But like, should these not have been ironed out in pre-season? That's why I do think it's going to be Sangare and Danilo, because if he played him at Villarreal, if he plays those as the starting 2 against Olympiacos, then I think we've got our answer on the 6 and the 8. Would you agree?
I agree, and I think that's what he will do. But like I said, I'm not opposed to it. And I don't think any of us would be, and that's for duty. I don't think there's a 6 and 8 combination that Nuno will play, apart from the obvious one that many people will have problems with, you know. So
Josh Bowling?
Yeah, that's exactly the player I was thinking of. But yeah, so unless that happens, you know, I don't think many people will be arguing. And look at the turnaround for Sangare from the start of this from the start of this pre-season, you know, and how many everybody had Sangare in that pick, didn't they? You know, so he's done well. He's done
you just don't know though. For all we know, he could start Yates. You know, we don't know.
Why do you have to? No, he's not going to.
I don't think he will.
That wouldn't link up with.
But he said at the end of last season he won't start Yates, and he just kept starting Yates.
But that wouldn't. Yeah, but that wouldn't link up with the preseason we've seen. And like we said,
he is trialing lots of different players in that position. By the way, shout out Josh Bowler. I think he actually looked really good in preseason.
Really?
I think he's looked decent, Josh Bowler.
Mate, he's championship.
Against who did he look decent against, though? Look at the opposition.
I can't remember which match it was, but there's one where he was breaking the back line, having shots on goal.
Does that mean we're having to batter offers away?
Yeah, exactly.
No, exactly. But I mean, I just mean in general, because I just compared him to Ryan Yates, so I needed to give him a bit of a.
Well, why don't you buy a shirt with his name and number?
Maybe I need to get rid of this Rayner shirt. You
need to get rid of all of them,
that's
bro.
Jota's number now. That's Jota's number.
I don't want this Rayner shirt anymore. The Awani shirt I don't want because it's signed by some.
Do you want to auction it away, bro, or something? Or are you trying to give it away?
I don't really want my Murillo shirt because he wants to play for Man City. I'll keep the Morgan Gibbs White one
for now.
For now.
All right, let's move on. Speaking of shirts,
you're not going to buy a Jota silver shirt, please. Just don't.
The next shirt on my list is Callum Hudson-Odoi. Callum Hudson-Odoi.
So he's getting Spurs.
He's out of my FPL team, by the way. No.
Yeah. Speaking of shirts, quick reminder. Firstly, make sure you've hit that like button. It's 213 likes in the chat with 943 of you across the FFTV network. Let's talk about the kits now that they've been launched. And shock horror, we were right again on those kits. Oh, surprise. But I just want to have a little fun debate to kind of polish things off here. which is better, the home or the away kit? Now, before you lot in the chat start asking about the third kit, we haven't seen it, so I can't give you any insight to it. When we know stuff, we'll tell you when we go.
Releasing that. I mean, fucking hell, it's
I don't know, man.
It is pathetic, isn't it?
I don't know. Like, they complain about they need to make revenue and revenue. They're not doing the preseason tours abroad. They released the kit lastminute.com. Like, if they'd released the kit 3 weeks ago, by the way, I can tell you that kit's been ready for 2 months. I can tell you next season's kit is already done as well. And that's even better than this season's kit. Okay. So why couldn't they have released it earlier on? It's just weird, right? But let's have a little fun debate here. I can see you lot in the chat. I'm going to do it in a poll. I'm not counting those up, right? But, and what are you saying? Home or away?
I like the away kit, but I love the... I like the home kit, but I love the away kit. Love it. Can't wait for mine to arrive from the shop.
The shop.
The shop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, it's hopefully your size fits, mate. But okay, so you get away, but you know we're always the Garibaldi red, mate. Are you just why? And
me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't fucking. I just like the away kit. Leave me alone. Go away.
That's why.
Listen, I've got plenty of Garibaldi kits, right?
Yeah.
I've not got any of the away kit. Yeah. We'll go there. We'll say that. I'm getting
would I be wrong
anyway? I'm getting the home kit. I'm getting both. With patches.
Money bags.
Patches.
Gyros come in.
Little money bags, Ed.
Discount money.
Well, I'm going to go the opposite way because I really like the home shirt. Last
you
season,
always have to be the weird one with the kits, man. You were last season as well.
I didn't like last season.
It's not surprising, is it?
You said it made me look like a fucking vicar, so I got rid of a shirt.
Yeah, I don't like that white colour.
Yeah, so I didn't like that, but I do like the colour on this one. So I'm going to go home shirt. But like, Anne, I'm going to get both because I'm like money bags as well, innit? Got paid.
Yeah, we're money bags, aren't we? You know what, Ez? I got my last season's top hat to wear tonight, and I looked at that colour. I thought, no, and put this one on.
Wait, what was wrong with the colour from last season? I can't remember.
I remember the white colour. It made me look like a vicar.
Yeah,
and me.
I gave mine away.
But I'll be honest with you, right? The home kit, when they're on the pitch, I can't tell that it's a new kit compared to last season's one.
No, you can't.
I know
you can't. And up close as well, it just looks like scribbles. It looks like someone scribbled black lines on it. It doesn't look like stars.
That's the thing. The stars, you can't see. I thought it'd be only 2 stars. I think there's like 7 on there. Like, have I missed something?
When someone takes a picture of it and photoshops it under perfect lighting condition, it looks really nice. But in reality, it literally looks like someone's just drawn a load of black lines on it.
So what are you saying then? Home or away?
Yeah, away, 100%. The away kit's actually really nice. The home kit for me is not.
He was vicar of Ez.
Yeah, Vicar Dibley.
Yeah.
You're forgiven.
Forgive me as I have sinned. That's good. I just think a football shirt needs a collar. That's my one there. I prefer them with collars, man.
What do you mean, actual collars?
Yeah.
Why'd you put a fucking towel in as
like
well,
a
man?
golf
What are you talking about? The old Labatt's one. My first one had a collar.
That was the worst one, man. It was an iconic kit because of what we did in it.
Football fucking shirt. It's a football shirt. Not,
mate, don't tell me you didn't sit there flicking up your collars upwards, man. Yeah. Back in the day.
I didn't.
No,
yeah, when Cantona was
because that stupid, useless crap, fucking overrated.
I hated him. I hated him, but still, it had to be done. No, all right.
No. Okay.
Am I in the chat? Did anyone flick their collars up back in the day?
Cantona. It's Cantona. No, thank you.
It's not Cantona, man. It's not Cantona.
It's literally Cantona. That is
no.
When you did it, everyone said Cantona.
Okay. Style. Thank you very much.
Nah, I was too young to be in that era, so it wouldn't count it for me anyway. So no. But anyway, back to my point. I prefer the color. I do. I think it looks better, but
that's because you love Cantona.
Don't you dare go down that.
Dog colour.
I'd rather you
Man
insult my
Man
kids,
United
mate.
fan.
Best colours. See, Mark's with me. Best colour is on this 75 shirt, he said. Wait,
And
what?
Nicky just hates that.
No,
kit, but
Nicky-
I love it.
Nicky,
I'm
you
with Crypto.
chat
I
shit.
love that kit.
I did not
think
like
I
it.
That's one of the best
I
kits
like
ever.
It's not.
One,
It's
because
not.
we won so
Yeah.
many games in it as
We-
well.
we-
Well,
yeah, but we can't take anything Nicky says seriously because he hates
Yeah,
Sangare.
that's true.
So,
It's true. Wait, but who else liked the yellow and orangey
the
fluorescent?
yellow and
one?
orange one was beautiful,
I did
and
not like it.
the black and gold one.
That was
the
good
And
apart from the
you know,
sponsor.
The other one I've got as well is the grey and orange one. That's quite nice. The camouflage one, the grey camo.
Yeah. Yeah, I know which one. you're
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Okay. So you're all saying, wait. So and
Ez is
No,
saying home.
I said home because I'm like that, innit?
weird.
Weird.
Okay. Let's see what the chat is saying.
Definitely
58% have gone with the away kit.
Yeah.
42%
Yeah,
well,
we know.
with the home
I'm
kit.
surprised it's that low. I thought it'd be higher for the away kit, to be honest.
Yeah, but
I think
did-
the pink's too bright for me, but I do like it. I like the design. Definitely.
The thing is though, like, because I'd rather prefer the home kit. I'd want to go in there thinking I want the Garibaldi red, but I've been disappointed.
what are you lot saying about the sponsor and the whole sponsory issue thing now?
I mean,
Well,
that's just dodgy
don't
because
like
it doesn't
Don't
even
like it.
exist. The website.
I don't
so-
like it.
don't like it.
Knowing that it's going to be banned from next season, even though it was a 2-year contract. And
Yeah, but-
going into it, I don't think it's something that.
Yeah, but
I want-
as
I want
Anne
associated with.
Anne said last stream, junior shirts don't have the sponsor on, so you're all right.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm fine. I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about you guys, innit? Fuckers.
Yeah, but they're gonna apparently that you know what they're gonna do next? They're gonna change it to crypto from gambling. They're gonna go down the
Really?
crypto angles.
Well,
next,
how's that
so-
any better?
Sponsored
So
by
we're gonna have
FTV
crypto.
Crypto
Literally
Rider.
going to have crypto on the front of our
It's
shirt.
just gonna have
Rider.
it's gonna have my
Bitcoin.
Twitter handle on there, so I can keep beefing with all the
You might
Yates
get a few
sympathisers.
followers, man. You might get a few followers. Cool. Okay, so there's still plenty more to talk about, but let's wrap it up there. We are back with a striker video either tomorrow or Tuesday. I can't remember what it is on the rota, which is it's fuchsia. It's either tomorrow or Tuesday. So make
Hey.
sure you look out for that. You won't want to miss it because striker is now high on the
High
agenda.
priority.
If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Oh yeah, Ez, did you want to talk about the Fantasy Premier League thing?
Not really, but we keep asking. We keep asking.
Does that mean you? Does that mean you doing that?
I'm
Yeah,
not doing
oh.
anything. I'm not doing
No,
anything.
No,
Who's
me,
doing
you
that?
mean Ed? I keep trying to
Yeah,
put
that-
this up.
yeah, it was
and
me and
every
you,
time I
bro.
put it up,
Sorry.
not that one.
The
That one.
crypto one. Yeah, that one.
Well, hide that.
That's why he was doing it.
Put it up,
All right.
what's going on?
What do you
I
wanna
need to
know?
take power off you lot on the comments. I really do.
You missed
What do
an
you wanna
L out,
know?
Josh.
You can try.
guy-
I mean, an X.
It's up and running, guys. I haven't got the link right now. I'll put it in the comments of this video, so make sure you do watch the video back. And if you got it, if you're watching it back and you got this far, put fuchsia in the chat. But I will.
They
Put the
don't
link
know how
in.
to spell that, man. There you go. I'll help him out. There's
Yeah, put
fuchsia.
pink.
for you.
Yeah,
There you go,
put pink.
fuchsia.
And don't
Yeah.
forget to subscribe. 20,000 subscribers.
How far
Yeah,
are we up? Come on, guys.
49
Have you
to
got
go.
it?
49 to go, baby.
Oh, so
All
we
right,
moved
that's
by
it.
2. Come on. Okay,
We've
guys,
derailed.
pull it.
We've derailed. We will see you on tomorrow's video. And come on, you Reds.
Have a
You
good week,
Reds.
guys. You Reds.